calling back or hand the mic back.
So many stories right in front of me. Some people climb to heights I've never seen. Too many falling down off their feet. These stories take digging deep. Eyes wide open, words unspoken. Where are you going, darling? Where have you been? Stories to tell, emotions we felt, good and the bad in the hands we've been dealt. I wanna know why you're the way you are. Why you're the way you are. Why you're the way you are.
Now I think we're live. Okay.
No sound.
That was interesting. The fun thing about it is you never know what you're going to get when you tune in. Tune in with us.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yes. Okay. I got to mute that so that I don't listen to the echo there. I still haven't shared the Facebook page. You'll see. Oh, there it is. All right. So counter is up. Can hear y'all. But all right. So Tommy's making fun of us here. Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate that. I'm going to share it to my story, and then I'm going to share it to public.
Well, so everybody knows, Brett took the night off, so guess who's at the helm?
Yeah, right. That's right. So, Kurtis, why don't you start introductions while I try to get the rest of this set up? All right, Kurtis, start the introductions.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm ready for this. All right, so I am welcome to Silverline Live, everybody. This is Silverline Sunday. Today we're going to be talking about superpowers. What are the best and worst ones? I'm Kurtis Fujita, the creative director at Silverline. I'm just a creative director, editor on K-List, artist who has done work in comic books, animation, and video games. That's all I am. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to John Martin over to my side here. So, John, if you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm just an inker. And I am slowly becoming known as the Viking Prince of Old Town.
And what do you ink, John?
But I ink Fire Rush. I'm almost done with issue 2. I'm going to have up to page 15 turned in. So it will be done soon. And possibly doing another cover, maybe, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I hope so. We talked about it. All right, let's see if I can...
Other than that, that's pretty much it. Just creating mischief and mayhem.
Mischief and mayhem is good. All right.
Well, let's have Aaron introduce himself next. So, Aaron, if you'll be so kind.
I am the artist on Fire Rush.
And right now I also do my own comic Goblins, which I am working on finishing up issue 9 right now. And then I'm going to hopefully beginning of next year. Hopefully, we're jumping more into Silverline, so doing some stuff. So yes,
Cool.
plans are in the works.
Excellent.
Roland looks giddy over
Yeah,
here.
Cross, fingers
which
crossed.
makes me a little nervous.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
kidding. Don't be nervous.
I hope
And
you're
don't be
bringing your
nervous
big
as
boy
he
pants.
brings out like a
Big
phone
boy
book of
pants.
stuff.
Well, let's hand it over to Roberta Conroy. Roberta, would you introduce yourself to the folks?
Sure. Hi. I'm kind of new to the Silverline team, but I'm a former Malibu colorist and a graphic designer currently. So I'm tackling the next issue of Cat and Mouse, which is really exciting. And I've been coloring Pendulum up until now. And there's a new one coming up that, should I say or let Roland say? And the new colors for Champion and Miss Fury.
Nice.
Name in progress, eh?
Woohoo! That's right.
That's going to end up being the name because it's been the name in progress for so long.
Well,
I
you know,
think
I think we may end up having to run a contest for it because all of the I have a sheet of names, none of which I really like. Champion Miss Fury is really kind of the only one that kind of makes sense at this point in time. But I'm not sold completely on it. So I don't know.
Maybe it just needs a tagline to add to it.
Maybe I guess there's the
Flaming
thought
swords or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Miss Fury kind of she kind of sells herself because she's a public domain character. Champion nobody knows, unless you've been following some of the Silverline titles. So he's a total unknown. So it makes kind of marketing sense to put Miss Fury in the title.
Yeah.
But Champion and Miss Fury, I don't know. It's one of those things like I just see the logo on the cover and I just see so many letters, and I'm like, no, not so many letters.
Yeah.
It needs to be Churi or something,
You could do
Churi.
You could always do something. Is this it's on the first series, right?
Yeah.
You could do something like Miss Fury. Like they did when they originally made Indiana Jones, it was just called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
And then later they added Indiana Jones.
Right.
And maybe you could do something that's like Miss Fury and then the name of like the actual 4 issue, like Miss Fury, like Adventures of, or something like that. That way, that might be a way to get away from the Miss Fury and Champion thing and just kind of have her name up there, but then add like it maybe. I don't know.
The only problem is it's more Champion's story than hers.
Okay.
And
so what if you just go?
Champion has been part of the Silverline world for a bunch of different. He was in Cat and Mouse. He was in Demon's Tales. He was in Silverstorm. So he's been in other stories. This is his story, and I'm using his story as an avenue to introduce her to the world. So
I got it.
It's more like Champion with Miss Fury. Or featuring Miss Fury kind of thing.
You could do something like that. I mean, you could do the old classic Champion and then like a little bubble featuring Miss Fury or something.
I was going to say you could just go Champion Fury.
Well, see, that's where I ended up abbreviating it to Champ Fury.
Or we could do it as start of a Silverline team up series, Champion Miss Fury and then Silverline team up series later,
That could be fun.
That
could be a lot of fun.
Kalis and Divinity or something crazy like that.
Have like sort of the little title at the top, like a Marvel team up, have a Silverline team up, and then the big one is, dang, Kurtis, I knew there was a reason I hired you.
I'm kind of liking that.
Yeah.
It's what we call corporate synergy. That's what we're
everybody made the introductions there. Oh, that's if you're looking at you're looking
we got
at
all the
Roberta's.
Introductions, but
except
we
for
haven't gotten
you, Roland.
Me.
Yeah, Roland.
Okay. Well, I am Roland. Whoops. Yay! I'm learning to click some of the buttons over here to get so you guys can't see it unless you're watching the stream. There's now the cover of Cat and Mouse 2 up there. So I am of sporting my Silverline shirt tonight. I'm kind of the chief wrangler, head honcho. Actually, my business card, we made business cards at Silverline that actually says head honcho on there. BJ's like, what do you want to be called? And I'm like, I'm not really just an editor, right? So it's like, I do so many different things. And she said, well, you just why don't you put head honcho? And I'm like, I'll do that. She was kidding, of course, but I did it. And so, yeah, I think Curtis,
it's all your fault, BJ.
You've seen the card, did you, Curtis?
Yeah. I mean, I know of it.
I mean, yeah, but you saw my card though, is what I'm saying. You designed the cards.
Yeah, I designed it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if I have one of them here in my wallet. I happen to have my wallet right beside it. Oh, look at that! I do.
There we go.
So this is the card that Curtis designed. You guys can make one if you want
That's
to.
nice.
Curtis designed it. Yeah, it's
Silver.
sweet.
Okay.
And then on the back side, then
It really does say head honcho.
it really does.
great.
You thought I was kidding,
That's
didn't you?
awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I write cat and mouse and Trump so that we just kickstarted, by the way. And I have somebody give me a drum roll.
Do we have to?
There you go. I have proof copies in my hand.
Wow.
Oh,
The Trumps turned out great.
I
I
know.
like the cat and mouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very,
Those
very
would
cool.
be great from the rack. I mean, you can. The composition's great.
I know. I'm excited. So yeah. So obviously this is the cat and mouse with Alex's cover A. But just so everyone can kind of get an idea of what they're. These are just the proof copies. Man, I can't hold it and look at the same time. So you can see here, it's a really good looking book. Very excited about it. So for all you doubters out there, we told you these books were finished. We just had to get the Kickstarter done. So this is Cat and Mouse, and then this is Trump's. See if I can actually flip. So I'm gonna show y'all something that I, it's one of these things I kind of want it to be left to people to discover. But I'm gonna tell y'all because I'm too clever for myself. You know how that goes sometimes, right? I can't flip the pages. All right, but it looks really good though. See, that's how good this book looks. So the page numbers, you'll see.
Oh, nice.
All right.
That's
so,
awesome.
So hold on. That's the first. So it's going to be done in 4 parts, right? Like for 4 issues. So that's the first 25 pages. And the second 25 pages.
Nice.
That's kind of cool.
So I got diamonds and I have clubs. And then, of course, the next 2 parts will be hearts and spades.
Spades,
So, yeah.
That's great.
I'm really excited.
I love those little details. Those little details are just so fun when you find them.
Oh, I want to show y'all something else. Something. I'm really excited about this. Sorry. So for those of you who are like, yeah, what do you? I would just hear you talk about superpowers. So this is going to be this for those of you who are like classic comic books.
Yes, I love that. I love those.
Y'all remember those? I know you probably can't read it.
But basically, it's like a scene in Divinity or whatever.
Yes, right. Yeah. This one in particular says, "What if the most powerful man on the earth is an 11-year-old girl?" Read Divinity on indieplanet.com/Silverline.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So I love stuff like that.
Yeah. So I found out. I ran across a blog. Those things are actually called bottoms or bottom lines or bottom ads, right? Oh. And Marvel used to do them all the time in the 70s. And there was a guy in charge of, that's what he did. He did all of those. And so I was reading about those and I'm like, I've always kind of wanted to do that. Those are kind of cool. So I sent some stuff around to some of the writers. Like I sent something to Barb. See what else do I have in here? I know I've got Kalis in here. We mentioned Kalis. And then that was Divinity. Then we American Steampunk. Oh yes, it's a thing. Steam Patriots coming soon from Silverline. Let's see here. Vampires fear nothing but grim. Twilight Grim on Indie Planet. Let's see here. And then I think there's one more. Oh, no, I guess I was wrong. So anyway.
We got forgotten about, Aaron.
What?
No, that's okay. I'm just enjoying Roland's excited about a show. And
Oh, I have to do one more thing before we get into here. I think everyone can see this now, right?
Holy cow! We finally got black shirts.
I like that.
Hold on. I gotta get rid of this. So so the merch of the week is the Silverline t-shirts, the black shirts. You can find them on Zazzle.com/s/Silverline plus comics. And we've even got some more. If I saw one of our group postings, right, I think we've got some more plague masks coming. Looks like I think someone was working on some designs for that. I think Jeremy was doing some stuff. So so pretty excited about that. But yeah, that's the merch of the week. So you guys go. We do have the merch store there. Mostly what we have are mugs. We've got a license plate that I think is really cool. Got the t-shirts. We say this all the time, but if you guys know something that you want, like if there's a character or there's a specific thing, a title that you want on a mug, on a t-shirt or something like that, just ask us. We can make it happen. This is the beauty of being an independent company. If you're like, man, I'd really like that on a t-shirt, all you got to do is ask and we will try to make it happen. It's not like, those corporate comics where you just kind of got to take what they give you. We can try to make it happen. All right, how about I stop sharing now?
Can I throw something out there?
Please do.
Maybe the viewers can chime in what they think. We have this running joke with our good friend Peter Clinton over in England, penciler on Silverline Team Up, Champion Miss Fury, and he always says, "I'm just a penciler."
Yeah.
What does anybody think if we had a series of shirts with just a word below and it says, "I'm just a inker, I'm just a penciler, I'm just a colorist"? If you're interested, like Roland said, just let us know. But I mean, think about that. You could go to a con when we're allowed to again, right?
Right.
And everybody will know you're a penciler or, whatever, So just a thought, let us know if you're interested. I think that'd be fun.
I can see problems with this shirt. Because then Roland's going to get, "I'm just the boss."
I'm just a head honcho.
And then his wife is going to wear it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She's got most of I'm the, like, for anybody that's married, this person's gonna say, "I'm the real boss," right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or mine's gonna say, "I'm the head honcho," marked out. "I'm the boss," marked out. "I'm the CEO," marked out. "I'm the whatever she says I am."
That's exactly right.
Oh yeah, I could go bad.
That's a thought.
All right.
I would totally get one of those. Yeah.
You want to be cool?
Yeah. So Oven says, "Hello, Silverline family." Hello, Oven. Okay, Oven, you got a no up there for something, and I'm not sure what that no is for because I had the screen covered up with something else. So you're gonna have to remind me why you have a parrot saying no. Royal Airship says, "Ahoy." C. Michael says, "That's what I call you." Head honcho. Eric Dodson says, "What up, Silverline?" What up, Eric? Tommy said, "Cat and Mouse looks cool, but I'm really digging the Trump's book." Glad to know it, Tommy. Your inks on that book look great too, by the way. As a reminder, just so you will know, Tommy inked this book, and the inks do look fantastic. I'm excited.
Best tracing I've ever seen.
Best tracing, yeah.
Oh boy, you're not gonna make any enemies tonight.
I know, that's it. The internet explodes.
Oh, let's see. How I'm gonna do these last 9 pages.
Oh yeah. Oven is saying the name of the Champion Fury comic. No. Wait a minute. No to which one? All of them or
just no?
Just no. Yeah, just no. It's like, wait a minute. What are you saying no to? We there's so many different things.
Choices.
Well, at least it's not like The Office no. Like, "No, please God, no, please God, no."
Yeah. So I kind of like the idea of the Silverline team up, and then we can do, because we could always do, Friar Rush and Twilight or Twilight Graham, or whatever. Yeah. I kind of like the idea, and it's not something that we have to do boom, 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 boom. They're all mini series, and so they're kind of special.
Yeah, I can totally see the whole Friar Rush Twilight Graham being a problem.
Yeah.
because of Seraph, what she is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but conflict is what makes stories.
That would be kind of fun though to explore that.
Yeah, I think so. Let me get rid of that little window there. Oh,
Everybody's like, "What is she? What is she? What is she?"
What's he talking about? I don't understand.
You'll understand when issue 2 comes out.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So what else? Any other news from you guys?
Can't think of anything too major.
Say again.
I can't think of anything too major.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I think we kind of all caught up on the news. Yeah, I'm very excited. I know Roberta touched on the 2 series that she's doing. I'm very excited about that. Anxious to get some pages into her. I snuck 1 page to her. I said,
like, oh my God.
I know. I was like, here's 1 page. I just kind of want you to see it, just so you know it's cool. It's coming up from the Champion and Miss Fury series. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. So yeah, I mean, we've got lots of exciting things happen. Oh, the other thing is we could probably start talking about is Silverline is participating in a big way in Comic Conway, and those dates are. Let me find those dates.
First 3 Saturdays of November.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 7th, the 14th, and the 21st. Silverline, well, this is on Central Time. I haven't adjusted my clock for any other times. Silverline's got a 4-hour block from 10, 11, 12, 1. So, and the 1 o'clock panel goes until 2 o'clock. So we've got 4 hour-long panels on the 7th, on the 14th, and on the 21st. So we're going to be talking about things. There's going to be an introduction to what Silverline is. We're going to have a panel with pencilers. We'll have a panel with colorists. We'll have a panel with inkers. We're going to have a panel that talks about the separate books. And then we're hopefully we'll get a lot of people there, and we're going to end it. The last one we're going to have is a big Q&A with everybody from Silverline who could make it at that point in time. So should be a lot of fun. Comic Conway is a little show, I should say a medium show out there in Conway, Arkansas. I was honored to be a guest there last year, and it was a fantastic show. People love comic books there, which, as someone who loves comics, it was very exciting to see. So they've got a great show, and we're very excited to be a part of it. And then hopefully next year, once we can start doing live shows again, we might get a handful of us back. Not gonna be able, they can't get us all there, of course, because there's a whole bunch of us now, but we'll see. Maybe they can get some of us there, and that will be exciting. It's a good show. I like it a lot, and I hope to maybe every other year, something like that, Silverline, to go back. That's my hope, but I'm looking forward to it. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun at the participate with them.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Cool.
Okay, so today we're talking about, and the crew on Wednesday talked about it, the best and worst superpowers. So, who wants to go first?
Well, before we
Kurtis.
start,
Do I need to mute Aaron?
What? yeah, I know.
No, before we start, let's see, should we
Okay.
does somebody want to throw some art up?
Oh yeah, thank you, Kurtis, for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
John hadn't got his streaming figured out yet, have you, John?
No.
Roberta, can you carry?
Yeah. You want me to share?
Yeah. Aaron, did you ever figure out streaming?
No, I can.
Yeah.
If I'm on my computer, I can do it.
Okay.
But I'm not working on my computer. If I color my own stuff, I can certainly do it. But right now, I'm doing it by hand, and that's
Bertie?
phone stuff, and I can't figure out the phone stuff.
You got,
You
yeah.
think
gotta
you
have
can
a
carry the
camera.
load?
Hey,
Boy,
what happened to my
you
footage?
gotta
Hold on.
carry that weight. Carry that weight. For something like that.
It's not offering me my. Okay, maybe not yet.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, tell you what, we'll get started, and just as soon as you can share, we'll just start sharing. So Kurtis, I guess
there it is.
that hand was about.
Got it.
Okay.
Awesome.
There we are. So
Woohoo!
there's a start.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh
That looks
my
really good.
goodness, Roberta! Holy mackerel!
So much.
What
awesome.
the
This is
heck?
going to be great.
Same
Oh
color.
my gosh!
Beautiful line
That's
art,
looking
and
awesome.
it's so detailed. It makes me like dizzy.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
Look at
I did
the
not realize that you
fire
were going to
engine.
show that page.
I know that's what I was
Fire.
thinking. I'm like, look at all of Peter's fire engines.
Oh my God. Then there's him running through flames.
Wow!
That looks
And
great.
there's
This
these-
is going to be awesome.
Really, really interesting shots. So it's going to be fun to color, and it'll take me longer than our hours, I'm sure.
That's good. That's looking awesome.
Wow!
And of course,
It'd be
it's
so cool.
Peter Clinton's pencils, right? And
yes.
who did the inks on this?
So
Tom-
this
Thomas
Tommy?
Romani.
this was all
Tommy
Tommy.
Yep.
Wow, look at
Yeah,
that.
and they
That
are
looks so
clean, beautiful.
Yeah,
dark.
that's looking great.
So
Yeah.
the line weight's so neat. I can work with all of that. So
I love how you're really working the local color on this. I mean, really in a big way. Looks great.
that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's. I was not expecting that page, Roberta. You
I tried to
completely-
get that started, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now I got to get this finished for the stream. 'cause this is-
You completely
too fun.
blindsided me with this one. Yeah, I was expecting more pendulum, and I was like,
yeah, I thought about it, and I'm like, you've seen enough.
You all done with that? You've seen all that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
well,
looks-
I mean, at
that
least
looks
this'll
fantastic.
tease you. So I still have a lot of little boring things to do, so I'll try to do the more fun things during our talk.
That looks fantastic. If Tommy's still watching, I know he's going to be goo-gooing too. I hit my, where'd it go? I hit my stream chat again.
You are so organized with your layers. I'm
I
almost
try.
not just envious of your ability, but how organized you are.
I have to be, because like if I have a million layers, I'll just not know where I'm at.
Yeah. That's too
But
cool.
I expand it, so that I have groups. I got this little folder here, so if I like something and like a background, I have to have all of them together. I'll put it together so I can select it easy.
Tommy
Yeah.
just says, Roberta, I'm very happy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then there's a face with lots of hearts on it. So.
Oh, well, I'm very happy. This is really neat.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good looking book. And we're missing Pete tonight.
Yeah.
Pete, unfortunately, several folks couldn't make it tonight. Pete couldn't make it, so we're hoping he's feeling better. Haley's not here. Let's see, who else is not here? Haley's on Wednesday, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, it's Becca. Has you
Becca.
ever-
Well, Barb. Of course, we're still missing Barb.
Yeah.
Barb's taking care of family stuff. Becca is. Becca works really early in the mornings, and so our streams went a little bit late for her. And so she just she has opted. She has the open invitation to come back whenever she
Right.
is able and wants to. And I've got my fingers crossed, and I feel pretty good that she'll participate in Comic Conway. But I think our streams are just a little bit too late for her at night. I think she's an early to bed kind of person, and so we're
That's
missing her as well. And Delia, I think Delia kind of withdrew to focus on school because she's a Kubert school student, so she's back in school full time. So
Good.
Yep. So okay, so back to what we're talking about. Tonight's topic is best and worst superpowers. So I'm not sure. I kind of think we should handle this kind of like we did one of the other topics earlier on. I think we should let's talk about maybe the worst ones first, and then we can kind of beat up on all of them, and then move on to what we think are some of the best superpowers. Want to do that? So I'll start by telling you the worst superpower that was pitched. Okay, Kurtis, you probably remember this one. So Larry Niven, that's exactly it. So when the Ultraverse was being formed, there were editorial conferences in which the writers, the founders, all got together and they were just pitching the different characters and concepts for books and things like that. And Larry Niven, a writer whose fiction work I enjoy quite a bit, he was involved on the panel. He was involved with the founders. It was Larry's idea is the disc, the Alderson disc. Yeah, Alderson disc.
Yeah, the Alderson disc.
Yeah, on which kind of the world existed and all the science sort of fiction elements. That all came from Larry. But Larry came up with the idea, and I don't remember the character's name. I just remember the power. This character had the power. Are you ready? Ready? This character had the power to park anything, anywhere.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. See, we even got Roberta to laugh at that one. Yeah.
With his what?
He could park anything, anywhere.
I could just see a joke of like him like parked up on a lawn and there's like a DMV guy with a clipboard like taking notes beside him or something.
The thing about it is he's like, hey, he can park a car, he can park a bus, he can park a plane, he can park a helicopter, he can park a spaceship, anywhere.
But was that all he could do?
Yes.
But
yes.
You know, that could go to being the best superpower if you could park anywhere without getting a ticket, because I would want that.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
It's like it's a fine line.
Yeah.
Kind of pales.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good getaway driver.
That's what I was thinking. If he was a getaway driver, that might come in useful.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. I don't know. Did it make the Bible, Kurtis? Do you remember?
I don't think so. But that Alderson disc, for those of you know, when Roland's talking about the Ultra Survival, I mean, there was almost 100-page document.
Yeah. About
the whole universe that all these superheroes are going to have, including like how the superpowers were generated and the actual plane of existence, this disc for all the worlds. And there was actually diagrams of this world.
Oh yeah.
It's just a fascinating read. Some people have posted it online, but yeah, it's very well thought out. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Very cool idea. See, Michael said something new for John Medic III to add to PowerPoint. Parking. Yeah, I think we've all heard a lot of bad powers, but I think that was probably one of the worst I've ever heard. Pitched with sincerity. And I'm like, what? It'd been interesting if it was a spoof or a parody or something, but nope. This one was all sincere. All right, so I got it started.
Okay, I'll throw one out there. For mine, it's actually what most people would like, but I think the ability to read people's minds. I don't know what you people are like, but I may have a certain persona, but my mind goes to dark and weird places at the oddest of times. And I would never put that upon anybody, and I can only imagine how disturbing it would be to know what everybody's thinking at all times. I think that would be probably one of the worst and most dangerous superpowers. I would say mind reading, hands down, one of the worst ones out there.
Especially if you couldn't turn it off, right? If you couldn't control it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And you would know what people really think about you, So,
I want to be the first
that could be.
Kurtis, we learned a little bit about how dark your mind is.
You haven't seen me play Grand Theft Auto online.
Heard the story.
Yeah, so wasn't there I'm thinking, wasn't there some comic book that addressed that or book that addressed
the X-Men used to do it all the time. Every time some mutant got mind the ability to telepathy, like Professor Xavier had to teach them how to block other sounds out or whatever.
Okay.
At least that's what I remember being popping up the most when I read that. So not sure how.
I think it's interesting when you see how they kind of reveal things like that. Like I think it was in the Ultimates or one of the comics they had a Quicksilver. He was upset about having the ability to move fast, and they were trying to explain why he's kind of a jerk all the time. And he said, "You know how it feels when you're standing in line at the grocery store and somebody's taking a long time to check out." He goes, "I feel that way all the time, every day, everywhere I go." And it's like I like those kind of nuances,
Yeah, because his world moves so fast. Eric Dotson says maybe mind reading for the best parking spot. All right, Oven offers the worst power is arm fall off boy.
Fall off.
That's his power. Wait, is that real? Arm fall off boy?
I think it is. It sounds familiar.
What?
So his arms just fall off?
Like a mannequin, he could just take it off.
All right, so you know we're all going to Google, right?
Or can he make other people's arms fall off? That
Suicide
might be a good
Squad.
Yeah.
No, that'd be helpful.
Holy mackerel! It's real. What the heck? He just pops off his arm.
It's like a lizard trying to get away.
People with it?
Yeah.
What's he do with it off?
Yeah, pop your arm off, slap somebody with it.
Oh. Okay, wait. You got to listen to the write up on DC's fandom page. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Huh?
Arm fall off boy is a hero with the incredible ability to detach his own limbs and use them as blunt weapons.
Oh, I was right.
So
The first thing I thought of was I would just smack someone upside the head. That'd be so funny.
How do you detach your arm and then use it to? I mean, what are these two detached
One-handed.
arms? One-handed.
Well, you might as well punch the guy then because it's got the same weight and the same density, right? Why would you take it off?
Or style.
Yeah.
Now I could see that
Style.
working if somebody made a bunch of like really cool prosthetic arms with different gadgets that he could hook onto his arms, like pop his arm off and pop on something like a rocket launcher or something. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. That's why I feel almost suspect the gadget type of
It's
stuff.
a nasty looking image of the little spot where his arm pops off too. Plorp. Plorp is the sound. Plorp. He tried to enlist as a member of the Legion of Superheroes at the first Legion tryout and was the first Legion reject.
They didn't
I wonder why.
Yeah. Excuse me, what can you do? Oh, have y'all seen the video of a little parody of the Justice League sitting around the table, and there's a new guy there, right? And what was this? What was it? Anyway, Green Arrow is like, who's the new guy? It's like, oh, that's Throwing Rock Lad, right? Throwing Rock Lad, what does he do? He throws rocks. Yeah, that's a stupid power. And then they all look at him like, says the guy who shoots arrows. and then they trash on him just a little bit about how terrible his powers are. And then he gets mad and he goes to leave and he can't open the door. And the throwing rock dude comes over there and he opens him up. And he goes, "I hate you," because he couldn't open the door, right? And then Batman walks up and he pays him money. He goes, "Thanks, that was funny."
It's kind of like that cartoon where that little short comic strip. I can't remember. I think it's the guy who drew it's the same guy who does Sunstone. It's a similar art style, at least, where Green Lantern walks up to Superman and goes, "Hey, check it out!" And Superman turns around and it looks like kryptonite, and he freaks out and Green Lantern starts laughing, and Suit crosses his arms, looks at him, and goes, "Batman put you up to that, didn't he?" He goes, "Yeah, it was great."
Yeah, there's a couple pretty good ones. See, Michael said, "Yep, he would throw his arm at you," and Eric Dodson said, "Hopefully, he is well armed."
Oh.
like if this guy threw his arm at you, I mean, could you just grab his arm and like throw it on the roof or something? I mean, you can't climb up to get it. I mean, just thinking of all the ways you could defeat this guy easily.
This could like really devolve into an evil paraplegic type keep away story, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you with your own limbs.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh look, oh you can't get it. Oh, you got no arms. You got one arm.
Oh wait. Whoever created that character had been one of those kids like me who was told by their parents, "I'm gonna rip your arm off and beat you with it."
Yeah.
See if it tells. Let's see. This version of Arm Fall Off Boy, pre-Zero Hour, is no longer considered part of canon continuity. all history and corresponding appearances of Fall Off Boy were erased from continuity following the events of the 1994 limited series 0 Hour.
That was the big reset.
He was reimagined in post 0 Hour continuity using the code name Splitter. Oh no! You ready to know who the creators are?
Who is it?
Jerry Jones and Kurt Swan.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah.
Good day.
So, was that Oven that said that? Oven, how the heck did you know about Arm Fall Off Boy? That's what I want to know.
Got to be a meme on Facebook about it or something.
C. Michael said the rumor is he'll show up in the new Suicide Squad movie played by Nathan Fillion.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I know he's in that. I don't know if
Anything with Nathan Fillion
but...
would be cool, but
Yeah.
you think Arm Fall Off Boy is going to be cool?
Well, I mean, in a funny way. I mean, of course, not in an actual cool way. But James Gunn. I mean, having James Gunn direct that character. I mean, they're gonna have Polka Dot Man in that movie,
right? Which is played by David Desmachali and whatever. I don't know how to say.
What does he do?
Yeah.
He was the Russian dude from Ant-Man.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, yeah.
Does this mean they're gonna have Cocaine Man in it too?
Cocaine Man.
What's his name? He's a DC character that he gets his power from cocaine.
Really? I know a couple guys in college that had that same power.
Yeah.
Kent, I'm not making this up.
Wait, what was his name?
I can't remember it exactly.
Well, okay, so all right. So did anybody read all right, so George Martin is a pretty popular guy today. Did anybody read any of the
Wild Cards?
Wild Cards, yeah.
I was always curious about that. I never read it. How were they?
Yeah, they're good. They're adult, but they're good. Fortunato, I think it was Fortunato, is one of these characters who got his power from having sex almost to the point, right? But if he went to the point too far, he lost all of his powers.
What a curse.
Well, we're no longer on YouTube.
Yeah, we're gone.
Hey, I stepped around all the words, right? Yeah, there were some interesting characters in that. See, Michael said Snowblind or Snowstorm is what they're going to
Snowblind. That's it. Snowblind.
Naming to. Well, what the heck? He's got. If he's not arm fall off boy, then what's the point? Right?
Hey, Snowblind is the cartel's worst nightmare. He's gonna take all their product.
He's gonna take
all right. So Snowblind is the cocaine one then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was trying to think of their nemesis. Like now that I'm sitting here thinking Arm Fall Off Boy, I'm like, what would be his nemesis? Like leg. Yeah, I'm thinking leg, or
Don't go there. There's other things that can be detached. We're not going there tonight.
Roly poly, man.
I'm just thinking of like a master plan. Like what would be the master plan to defeat like Arm Fall Off Boy? Like just open a door, go in and close it, and you can't open the handle or something. I mean,
you just go up to him like you're gonna shake his hand and then pull it off. And now he's already one hand. That's all you gotta do.
His nemesis is super glue.
Super glue.
Legolas.
Duct tape.
Super glue is from C. Michael. Eric Dotson says Legolas.
Legolas.
That's pretty good.
Oh, duct tape. Duct tape is his worst enemy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I always thought the dumbest power. And I used to read the New Warriors. That was one of the superhero series I read when I was a kid. And I remember they had Speedball, where he could just bounce around.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they tried to make him more powerful, that he could do all this other stuff. But I'm like, come on, he just bounces around.
And he's using kinetic energy to do that,
or something like that. I mean, they tried to make it more serious, but I'm like, we just trying to cover up the fact that you wanted He's like, well, kids like Super Balls. What if you made a guy that was a Super Ball? I mean, okay. So I'm
Super Ball.
But
Wasn't that Steve Ditko? Did that like the initial first issue of that or something? Was it?
Yeah.
It looked
I
like
think
Steve
so.
Ditko.
I think you're right. Yeah. Was that the one that Fabian Nicieza?
Yeah, I think.
Worked on?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Remember, Speedball. Remember, Speedball was the reason why we had the first Civil War.
That's right. That's true. Not in comic books, not of course. John's not talking about that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Obviously, he's not the reason why the North decided to fight the South.
Yeah, because I didn't read that, but I heard that like they brought the New Warriors back as like some reality TV show, and he killed somebody or did something.
Oh no, we're talking. He caused like an entire like portion of the city to be destroyed.
Yeah, it was like a raid gone wrong or something during.
Yeah,
the
a bunch of people died.
So it's like the Pit and Starbrand and the Marvel's New Universe, right?
Starbrand. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard about that since like Kickers Incorporated. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a minute.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, when Starbrand blew up and took out all of Pittsburgh, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, which of course was the writer's way of getting back at Jim Shooter.
Was it?
Oh yeah, because Jim Shooter, because the New Universe was kind of his.
Yeah.
And he's from Pittsburgh, and so when he left, they had Starbrand blow up all of Pittsburgh. And basically,
actually, I've heard this story before.
Yeah. See, Michael said you spell duct tape D-U-C-K. Spoken like a true Southerner there. Duct tape. I want duct tape. Yeah. Satoon says, hello, everyone. Hello, Sad. What's up? Yeah, duct tape.
I still, it wasn't even a superpower, but I remember another character in New Warriors. Thank God the storyline was good because it goes to testament that you can have really stupid stuff in a story, but as long as the story is written well, it could be entertaining. But this guy Night Thrasher, who was like this Batman character.
I remember Night Thrasher. Yeah.
And he like carried a skateboard, and he was like. Everybody was charging in the battle, and this guy is looking all badass, but he's riding this skateboard. I remember the first issue, he's riding it through like they were fighting in some like down building with all this rubble, and he's riding the skateboard. I'm like, on dirt? Like what kind of skateboard is this? I mean, is it autumn? I mean, you usually have to have cement or so. I don't know. They eventually got rid of the skateboard. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Are you saying Michelangelo can't do that either?
No, he cannot. No, he's a ninja. So.
Yeah. Actually, I got a really horrible superpower for y'all.
What is it?
Skin.
What?
From Generation X.
Oh yeah.
God,
he's like that gray skin guy. Like all husky.
He looked like a 300-year-old man.
Because he had like he grew a bunch of excess skin, didn't he?
And he was like this big around.
Yeah. And couldn't he use his skin to like grab things? Like, couldn't he move his skin?
Oh, it was like elastic. It could like stretch and everything. Actually, it also kind of goes as the nastiest superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another category. Nastiest superpower. I like that.
I mean, this can get really bad. Because I mean, it was a horrible idea, and I can't believe that actually made it into print.
Well, X-Men always, especially when they did the newer X-Men with, I think it was called like maybe the new X-Men or something.
See, Michael said, what about Husk? She sheds, doesn't she?
Yeah, but that was kind of like shape-shifted, wasn't it?
Well, she would like, I think she'd like rip her skin off and then she'd be like diamond or whatever.
Yeah, that was how she shape-shifted.
Yeah. But I mean, it was still kind of nasty. I don't know. The X-Men kind of gross. I still remember there was one. That was the next one. Some girl was like a wasp. Or
don't be a mutinist.
Yeah, but I mean, it was more to the point that they were like, she was a bug or something. I don't know. I mean, it was like, okay, well, these like they were becoming less human and more like animalistic. Then I'm like, well, okay. So I don't know. I thought they were kind of weird. I always think it's weird when they mix. Like somebody develops a power where like I'm mimicking the abilities of a bug or another animal, and I'm like, I don't really think that's the way the body works. I think you could develop like insect wings, but you're like, I had the power of a bee. I'm like, unless you're transfused with the power of a bee, I don't think the body would naturally go like, well, I choose to combine you with the power of like a donkey or something. I don't know. It seems a little weird.
Well, so one of the things when you talk about like the insects, one of the things when you think about Spider-Man, early Spider-Man was always, and I don't know about later, but they were always very clear to say the proportionate strength of a spider.
Right.
Because they're really, they're strong, but they're tiny. And if you have the strength of a spider, no one cares. But if you have the proportionate strength of a spider, then
then it's more powerful. Yeah, I think insect, I don't know. There were some where like I still remember there was a mutant with like he was half bird. I think he was called Beak or something. Like his only power was like he was half bird, half man. Yeah, or something. He had a beak and feathers. And I think they ended up like beating him up with a baseball bat or something.
I think he was actually called Beak.
I remember.
I think he was actually called Beak.
Yeah, that was his name, and I think he was trying to fly or something or whatever. I mean, they got to the point where I'm like, they seemed more like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle type characters than there's mutants. Does that make sense? It's like they're kind of mixing like the anthropomorphic animals than just humans with weird powers. But I remember they did a lot of that. I just remember sometimes I felt like you guys are kind of running out of stuff, aren't you?
See, Michael said X-Men evolved into or from just superheroes to dealing with these abnormalities, so some things were excusable.
Yeah. Remember that? I mean, there was some where this guy could like his skin was translucent and you could see a skeleton. I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
they're still human. I don't know. I think it was just the mixing of animals, like half animal, half thing. I was like, well, then the Ninja Turtles weren't there. They would be like totally would blend in. So
since we're bashing on Marvel, did y'all see the trailer for the new Warriors? Did y'all anybody see it?
Is this a show or is this a comic?
No, it's something fairly new.
Oh yeah, a couple months ago, but I don't.
Yeah, the one with safe space and
yes.
Snowflake.
Yes.
That was rough.
Oh my goodness, that was rough. Well, it was one of them. So all right. So when we talk about the heroes, right? We want to. What does he do? Oh, he's got the ability to fly and he has super strength and that. Yeah. Okay, I remember. I'm trying to find it. I don't want to watch the video, but it's like one of them. Ready? One of them. She was a Reddit editor. Right?
Yeah, I remember.
The other one had a Twitter account. I'm like,
really?
Oh, it was so bad. It was so. They're like, what do they do? It was. Oh man, Curtis, it was some of the worst things I've ever seen.
With that, you need a superpower, like to be able to post 1,000 posts on Twitter without inciting rage, like something like that.
Right. Oh, I may have to watch the video to get that, but I'm not going to do that. But
don't do that to yourself.
No.
I always thought like some of the weird. I mean, I remember they had one where like I think it was one of the X-Men where this lady could make a force field around herself, so she was impervious. I'm like, well, that really only helps you. Does that help other people? I mean, I guess maybe if you pick her up and throw her into things.
Sure.
If she's invincible, you can throw her into stuff, I guess. I don't know.
How do you pick up so you'd have to pick up the shield though? Right?
I think the shield moved with her body or something. So it was like a second skin that made her impervious.
But what I'm saying, if she had a shield, or was it like was it close to her body or was it like a ball?
I think so. I think it was like a pink little aura around it and stuff.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, because if there was kind of like this force field thing, you wouldn't be able to touch her. Yeah. Right? You can pick her up.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, there was always different, I still remember this one. This was the weirdest mutant I saw. And she was like in 1 or 2 panels of this. I think she was actually in a scene from the Follow the Mutants comic. And she was this random mutant, but she was like white. And then she had like rainbow colored hair and like, I think it was hair in some of her skin. And I was like, well, what does she do? She like turned flat as a piece of paper and could like slip through things, which it was weird because the way she looked and what she could do sometimes didn't always match. I'm like, well, can she make rainbow stuff? Like, no, she can flatten herself, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, like I didn't, because I mean, she looks so unique. I'm like, well, does that have something to do with the power? And it's like, no, she's just rainbow and she can flatten herself.
I can belch pink rainbows.
Yeah, or something like that. So
I do like it when they get creative with powers, where like for instance Flash, right? It's like he can run fast, and then that starts to get parlayed into he can create a sonic wave of cyclone, or he can time travel. I like it when writers find cool ways to kind of take this what looks like one power and just bring all this different dimension to it.
Right. Yeah. You could do this, that you can do other things. I always thought that was that I like that idea.
Yeah, the anime My Hero Academia does a really good job with that. If you folks have watched that,
so really I turned on the closed captioning. Okay, all right. Here we go. Here's what they said about Trailblazer. Okay, she's a group home and foster kid who is volunteering at a senior center when this mysterious threat shows up.
Okay.
That's it. Yep. Okay, hold on. Let's see. She has a magic backpack of divine origin.
That's right. She had the bag of holding from D&D. That's the first thing I thought. It's like that's
bag of holding. All right. Screen time is an internet kid taken to its sort of logical conclusion. As a youth, he was exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas. What the heck is internet gas? I heard that. What is internet gas? There's no such thing.
I don't know. If you're eating a lot of food and watching the internet all night, you might develop some sort of gas.
And that has patched him permanently into the World Wide Web.
Wow. There's elements of this, like when I was in school and we'd have a substitute teacher and he was trying to talk cool to us and it just wouldn't work. He'd be like, "Hey, my man, can you do this fresh mathematical equation? Would that be dope, my man?" And you'd just be like really uncomfortable, like just talk to me normal. That's what this feels like to me.
Yeah. It's like, well, kids like the internet, and so what if he had some dude like control the internet? Why didn't they just call that guy Google? Maybe there was a trade.
Why didn't they just call him Al Gore?
Call him what?
Sorry, did I go there?
Yeah, it's okay.
I think you did. Wow.
I created the internet.
Ooh.
Can you put parental restrictions on him?
Yeah.
He can only. He's trying to be cool and he can't. All his curse words are muted or something. Like
that would be funny. It'd be like SpongeBob, right?
Yeah. Oh, if you ask him a question he doesn't know, like the 404 symbol comes off or something.
Yeah. Not age appropriate. Sorry.
Anyway.
You fries motherboard.
Yeah, I remember reading.
So this doesn't look like. Yeah, this doesn't look like the first one I saw. So we talking about this. I'm sitting here. I'm going on a Marvel bashing rant here. They had a new X-Men trailer here not too long ago. Within like the last month or two, and they were like, "We've got these all new characters, right?" And you look at them and you're like, "Those aren't new characters." So I called my son over. I said, "Brett, come here. Tell me, does this look interesting to you? Tell me what you think." And I didn't lean one way or the other. I wanted to get his, unpersuaded opinion. And so he watched it and he looked at me, he goes, "So is this a serious question?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "No, I'm serious because we're making comics. I kind of want to know what your reaction is." I said, "Because I want to sell comics to your age group, right?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Well, first off," he goes, "those aren't really new characters." I said, "Why do you say that?" He goes, "Well, that's just Colossus. That's just so," and he just went through and named them all. I'm like, he was right. They were just, the old X-Men with just a new, with the different look or maybe a different gender or something like that. They just kind of tweaked them. Nothing was new. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm not that interested." And then he walked off.
so I have a question for you regarding that. So then where does archetypes come in? Like is that a fine line between just putting a new skin on something and there being an archetype, or is it? I mean, how do you balance that? What's everybody's? I'd be curious what everybody's thoughts are on that. You know, if you want a big hulking guy in the back or something like that.
Yeah, like you're talking like the guy who's super, strong, and but I wonder like if you make his skin turn metal, like that's more specific to Colossus. So that would, but just I mean, there's tons of just strong dudes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People with knives. I mean, that was ever since Wolverine. I mean, I think every comic character has to have somebody with knives. I mean, that was my favorite thing about the X-Force story, which I heard the actual X-Force story, they made a new one, which was really well done. But it was like everybody on the team had some sort of knives, like Archangel's wings, Wolverine's claws. Like everyone had, so I kept calling it X-Acto knife, X-Acto Force, or something, because that's what because I'm like, well, they all have knives. And I was like, oh, so they're okay. I heard the story was good, but it was just one of those things you notice right away. It's like, well, they all okay. And but yeah, so again, it's like, is that an archetype of like the sort of sword knife carrying superhero? We don't get a lot of superheroes with guns. We get some like the Punisher or whatever, but mostly they give them knives or arrows. I guess it makes them more heroic, I guess.
Well, yeah, I think there's the other thing is I think part of the reason we don't get a whole lot of it is the which I don't know. Guns are one of these things that our society is kind of divided on.
Right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So generally people who make them are like, yeah, we're going to stay away from that because, now you go back to Punisher. This one, they didn't care. They didn't care. They were just telling the story. Guns served Punisher for what Punisher was doing. It was true to the character that was created, and it made sense, right? We're actually it's funny because the book that Roberta is coloring right there, we're going to actually talk about guns.
I think it's also kind of a lowest common denominator, like guy with guns, like, okay. I mean, guy with bow and arrow, like that's unique. That's
it's different. Not really a superpower now, is it?
No, it's not.
And so I think that's one of the things is that we like to see, I mean, I can shoot guns. I can't flip over a building and shoot them under my arms while I'm flipping,
Right.
But the ability to shoot a gun is not really a superpower. So I want to see somebody who can shoot beams out of their eyes.
Yeah. It was always funny that cool. They would give like, the bow and arrow thing came from more like putting in a Robin Hood type character, but that being super accurate with a bow and arrow was actually like a power or skill. And like you see Hawkman, even in the Avengers movie, you see Hawkman making all these like amazing possible shots. That was supposed to be his power. So, I mean, but they actually, there was one comic where they actually talked about running out of arrows. Because that's the one thing I never could figure out. Yeah. Like, it's like, how many arrows does that quiver hold? And he's like, the whole battle. Or just, even showing the scene where he's going to retrieving him. Like, he's going to, like, pulling him out of, like, a wall or something. Or, I don't know. But as far as the archetypes, I kind of understand what Kurtis means. The 90s were almost the worst for that. Because, like, every superhero team had strong guy, knife guy, Superman type guy. Yeah. And then some like innocent
Boy Scout type guy.
Yeah.
Well, and Rejects, the series I'm working on with C. Michael, plays a little bit with some of those.
Some of the stereotypes,
Yeah. Go ahead, Curtis.
I think too, like archetypes too, it's always the same people in the same roles, right? Like it would be funny if the big strong Colossus guy is the leader, and then the guy with the knives or something like that is the most intelligent one of the group, and so
right.
But yeah, they always kind of fall into not just visually but the exact same role in the space.
Yeah. And I think that's the challenge is to kind of when you're doing those kind of things is to kind of turn that, put it on its head a little bit. Oven said the worst power doorman can turn into a door, and that's it.
Put a door to where?
Wow.
Turn into a door. And he said too soon. See, Michael said Rob Liefeld is not creating much anymore, so there's not that many guns or pouchers.
Yeah.
Oh. Oven said being angry can be a superpower.
The Hulk has made it a superpower.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still remember when they came out that character. Do you guys remember the character Pitt, who's called P-I-T.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Dale Keown.
Dale Keown.
Yeah, he was a great artist, but I remember when I first saw that comic, like, look, it's the Hulk, but they gave him claws. So they've mixed Wolverine. They've mixed the archetypes. We'll take knife guy, strong guy, and combine it. And I'm like, oh, they're evolving into same characters, different stuff. So I thought that was always I liked the concept and stuff, but I always thought it was funny how people were like, I can't think of anything. So people really like knife dudes and they like strong dudes, and let's just mix those.
Well, and the other thing that you see sometimes, I think you see when you see creators doing stuff, and we could probably, dive into to a whole bunch of, independent comics and look at those, is that you see someone says, I love Batman. I'm not good enough to work on Batman, or I'll never, ever, ever do Batman. So I'm going to create Wing Bat Guy.
Yeah,
right?
or something like that.
Something like that. And you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's Batman.
Yeah.
But they can't do Batman, so they come up with something in an effort to kind of do Batman.
Well, I like what Aaron was saying about the two most popular things to combine. Like the guy who wrote the book Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yeah.
I guess he was like looking at the bookstore and he saw the top two bestsellers that month, whereas was a biography on Abraham Lincoln and a vampire book, and he was like, okay, there it is. I'll just put the two together and I'll have a bestseller novel.
They took off. They put like zombies and Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like a whole bunch of other stories like that.
Yeah.
But
okay, what other worst powers? Roberta, you got any thoughts on the worst powers?
On the worst? Well,
yeah. That page is looking awesome.
Thank you. I've been kind of laughing because I heard on Wednesday someone mentioned Mr. Fantastic, and I gotta say, stretching just sounds so lame.
Really?
I don't think I ever got into it because I thought it's just so, I don't know. I mean, it's helpful, but I wouldn't want to be that. You know, you can imagine all kinds of things that you want to put pressure on that just, completely ruined. Just can't imagine how you'd approach the world,
Oh man, this could go so wrong so quick.
Don't go
hey,
there,
at
John.
least Sue Storm's happy, okay? Sue Storm's happy.
Yeah. I always thought it'd be funny if he like they didn't know what to do with him, so they just used him as like a blanket or curtains, or because he could just flatten himself out, so they just hung him up.
Yeah, but okay. So here's the question: wouldn't that make him cold?
I have a better one, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
I'm just trying to think. If you could turn into water, that would suck.
Yeah. Oh,
like them.
Yeah.
Like the Power Twins.
Twins. That's what. Yeah, Marvin and Wendy.
I was like, wow, that's terrible. Just ice sculpture.
Wasn't there something? Didn't they carry her around in like a bucket?
A bucket.
Yes.
Yeah. And I always wondered if the water splashed out or she got water, like that part of her
Would
body.
she lose an arm? Yeah.
Yeah, did she lose an arm or something?
Yeah.
I mean, you had to keep all the water together. But
I just lost an eye. Please go back and mop it up.
Mop it up, I know.
We'll find it.
See, Michael said stretching really is lame. For the male, at least. Some females can pull it off. I don't guess I'm aware of any female stretchy characters. Stop laughing. Don't go there, Curtis.
I think he was driving down the road.
Miss Marvel can stretch?
Miss Marvel, the new one. Is it
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan. I don't know. Is it Miss Marvel? Is that her actual superhero name, or is it something else?
No, it's Miss Marvel.
Yeah, she can stretch, but they made her like have huge fists or whatever, I guess. And I was like, okay, yeah, but I remember she can stretch. So yeah, they did do one. Stretching is kind of a weird.
Oh, Elastigirl, of course, from The Incredibles.
Oh, Elastigirl.
Yeah, that was good. See, Michael said that. Elastigirl, Miss Marvel. And he said, like I told Scott, if you don't think how stupid stretching looks visually, it actually comes in handy.
That's true. I mean, there's like a cool factor is different than utilitarian, right?
Right.
But in comic books, it kind of has to be both, right?
So you know what? I think back on all of the earlier Fantastic Fours, like the John Byrne run and the run before that, when done by when Sinnott was doing a lot of the artwork, or Sinnott, I forget how you say his name. Those were really good, and I really liked the way John Byrne handled Mr. Fantastic. All the stretching was just, it's just everywhere, and it made sense. And every time he drew him, it made sense because, he's typing way over here on this one, and he's looking at this computer here, and yet he's writing over. And it's like, yeah, if I could do that sometimes, I would do that, but I can't reach all this. And so I have to do something here and then run over here and do this. And so the way John Byrne handled it, I thought was really clever. He used it to demonstrate the uniqueness of that power.
And it kind of grounds it in reality that way too, right? When you see them using it in everyday tasks.
Right.
Yeah. I thought Claremont and John Byrne did a really good job of that. Of like the X-Men, and Claremont and Will Byrne was part of that too. The earlier did the X-Men, they would show them using their powers for just ordinary things. Iceman making ice cubes, and I always thought like, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, that it's not just a weapon, but it's just something that's inherently part of them. Like Wolverine would cut the top of cans off of his claws so he can drink instead of opening stuff like that.
So what about sticking on bad powers, worst powers again? What about any of you remember the Eternals? And I don't know anything about any new Eternals at all.
I don't remember their powers.
I remember the old ones. Yeah, right. So Black Bolt, his power.
Are you talking in the Inhumans?
I'm sorry, I mean the Inhumans. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Eternals, but I mean the Inhumans. Yeah, I don't know anything about any new ones though.
I thought
one thing, if he talked, it's something like he could end the world if he spoke. It was something out there like that.
Yeah, he could level.
He never used his power.
Yeah.
It's like Black Bolt. Oh, don't make him talk. Because if you do, he can blow things up. So Black Bolt never talked.
It was funny because I remember really the only one that I remember power besides Black Bolt was Medusa with the hair, but all the other
you don't remember Gorgon?
I don't remember what he did.
I called him Thumper.
Couldn't he just jump around? Wasn't that his power?
No, he was the one who, if I'm not mistaken, Gorgon's the one that had the big. Didn't he have like a big hoof for his foot? And he would stomp and send sound waves.
Oh,
so you remember?
He would do.
Yeah, you remember not sound. Yeah, like the ground would shake and then knock it right. So you remember Thumper from Bambi, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I called him Thumper all the time because that's a pretty stupid power. I never liked the Inhumans. Yeah,
the Inhumans were.
Karnak was the chopper, wasn't he?
Karnak's the one who can find the witnesses, and he was a martial artist.
Okay.
He could find weakness. He was basically Marvel's Lobo.
Okay.
I remember seeing that. Anybody see the Inhumans TV series? Which I hope you didn't. But if you did, it was so funny because you can tell where the budget came in. Because so Medusa, I think in the first maybe 1 or 2 episodes, her hair would be the tendrils and doing all that cool stuff. And then there's this twist where her hair gets cut off, right? And it's because they didn't want to spend the money on CG. So for like the rest of the season, the bad guy catches her and cuts off all her hair, so they don't have to pay money for the CG.
I thought you were gonna say they just put on a bad wig.
Yeah.
No, they shaved it off so they didn't have to use it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I remember Black Bolt did use his power a couple of times.
Yeah.
He would whisper.
And it was catastrophic.
Yeah, he whispered. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would whisper like a single sound, and
it would like crack a mountain or do something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Michael says Kamala Khan is an Inhuman, and then you have Lockjaw the dog. Yeah, I guess that's what he said.
Yeah, Lockjaw the dog is the coolest one.
I think Lockjaw is cooler than some of these powers that we talked about earlier. He's a teleporter. I mean, hey Lockjaw, I need to go to the store.
Does anybody ever worry that Black Bolt might talk? Yeah. Oh, what if Black Bolt, talks in his sleep, right? Nobody ever considered that. Right?
Or like, what if he burped?
Don't get him drunk, dude. Don't get him drunk.
Yeah, I know. Like, what if he burped, or what if he sneezed?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I mean, this is all stuff. Like, if he sneezed, it's like, well, sorry.
I guess we're going to another planet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some pretty. I was never a big fan of the Inhumans.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Inhumans. I did see the New Mutants, though, the movie.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
How was it? So? Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Okay.
No. If you can rent it from Redbox for $1, do that and have some fun. But no.
Yeah. I think the only person that got it right was Magic.
But here's my problem though, is like they didn't really utilize her that much, and they never mentioned the fact that Colossus was her brother, that he was in the X-Men. They dropped so many opportunities to tie it into the Marvel universe when they could have,
Yeah.
And they did that before, like in the First Class movie, they introduced Havoc. Did they ever mention that Havoc was Scott's brother?
Nope.
I don't.
Yeah, see, I don't remember, and that I always thought was really weird. I'm like, because Scott was more of an established character in that universe, mentioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember him. Yeah, there was a few weird, like when they did Emma Frost. Well, they added her diamond powers. I never liked the diamond stuff. I liked their telepathy, which they still kept. But yeah, so. But yeah,
what about Banshee?
Not a great character.
What, you like Banshee?
I don't know. I'm just wondering about her.
Or him?
Yeah.
No.
There was a character called Screaming Banshee.
What was the girl that did that?
Siren.
Siren, yeah, because there was a girl version of that. They did
the girl version. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, she was his daughter, I think.
Was that it? Yeah.
Banshee's another example of it's not bad powers, but there's no coolness factor. And
right, yeah.
His green and yellow outfit really didn't help.
It's pretty great.
I thought one of the more useful powers, but dumb powers at the same time, was Forge's. Like Forge can invent anything, but is that really a power or just being really smart?
Yeah.
I never could quite figure out, like. So, I mean, because lots of people can invent stuff and are just really smart and keen and can see things, but this is a power. How so?
Yeah.
But he could invent anything, and I'm just like,
okay. He's a great Q or quartermaster.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I didn't really get how that was, a real power, but.
Well, it's kind of like long shot. I liked it was a weird power, but I like how they played it, especially in the original Art Adams.
That was good. Yeah.
But like the idea
what was long shots? Oh, so he was like dominant.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he had hollow bones because he was an alien, which meant that it was kind of weird because of course his arms could get breaking easier, but since he had hollow bones, he could kind of glide on gusts of air sometimes, like. It's kind of weird, but neat.
Yeah.
And he had a mullet. He had a mullet. So
he had a mullet, and I remember he had this big alien thing. Was he had 3 fingers instead of 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He had the 3 finger. Yeah, I always liked Long Shot. He definitely was like the different character. I mean, they made him fit into the X-Men, even though he technically wasn't a mutant. I thought he was interesting. And then, of course, I think Rob Liefeld made Shatterstar from the same universe,
yeah.
And I think he had luck too, or something. That was all the Mojo world, I think.
I don't think Shatterstar had luck. I don't know what his was. I think it was just increased stamina and reflexes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had luck. I read a little bit. Longshot was the one I knew more about.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's enough on bad powers. What about good powers? What are the best? What's the best superpower? What do you think?
Healing.
Yeah.
I think healing. Yeah.
Good.
Especially if it slows down the aging process, because getting old sucks.
Yeah.
So like Wolverine's healing factor is the best one.
Yeah. That was, of course,
smoke and all that stuff.
Yeah, which they said he can do. I think they've kind of, it was weird. They kind of went, because I remember when I first read it, there was a panel where they said, like, when he got shot, it would take like an hour or so to heal from the gunshot wound. But then, like, nowadays, like, you can destroy him down to like cells and he'll rebuild himself. I'm like, well, I don't think it was supposed to be that powerful. I mean, I don't think he was supposed to go there, but I mean, it was supposed to be powerful enough that he Oh, go ahead.
No, I think when you say you don't think it's supposed to be that powerful, I think I think that's a problem for characters the longer they go on. So,
right.
I realize this may start an internet flame war here, but Superman, I like as a character, but I find him boring because he's too powerful. I mean, really, the only way you defeat Superman is with kryptonite, right? But that's not
magic.
But that's not the way Superman was created. He was not created to be as powerful as he is today, right? He was able to leap. He couldn't even fly. He was able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. He was more powerful than a locomotive. Now that's not powerful enough to fly around the world and make it go backwards. That's just able to stop a train. Which is really strong, but it's not all powerful.
He was supposed to be like the ultimate strong guy, like the circus strong guy, like invulnerable and super strong. They could do this, and then they eventually. Maybe you guys know this. Like, the laser eyes are cool, but it was such a weird power to come from some guy who's supposed to be like a super strong guy, and then you add laser eyes.
Well, so what happened is and I don't know the minutia of it. I know the broad strokes of it. Okay. What happens is that all these things were very popular during World War II. Comics, sold millions of copies all in World War II. And then after the war, all the soldiers came home, blah, blah, blah. They rode high for a little bit, and then people just stopped caring about superhero comics. And like nobody liked superhero comics at all. They were going to Westerns and other things like that, right? So it literally got to a point that nobody cared what they did with Superman. They just we don't care. And so writers were just writing crap. And what would happen is they would write themselves into a hole. It's like, oh man, how's he going to get out of this one? What if he had eyes that could like shoot ray beams? That'd get him out. Yeah, Superman now he has laser eyes, right? Or now he has cold breath, super breath, right? So they just made crap up.
That sounds actually kind of what I was thinking. What happened was they just kind of like kept adding on to him.
Yep. And some of it, a lot of it just stuck. And then over time we find out, well, Superman can do this, he can do that, he can do that. So now he's all powerful. They added somewhere in there he can fly. This is one of the reasons I love the Fleischer cartoons, is because they were done in 41 and he didn't have all these powers then.
Yeah, he didn't do the eye beams of the breath. He could fly in the. Well, could he fly?
Well, no, he leaped. And if you look, he'll leap, and then his legs will turn as he goes to land. Right. So he's leaping like this, but when he kind of reaches the apex, his legs turn as he goes to land. Right. It's really cool to watch. And this is one of the reasons I'm just a huge fan of all those shows, because he doesn't have, as I think I probably showed you guys before, I got several of the DVDs here that my wife has tried to throw away before. I'm like, no, that's no, you can't throw that away.
Those are awesome. Those are classics. Yeah.
Michael said, agreed, Superman has gotten dull. I think his flight came from the old George Reeves show. Oh, that could be. His flight comes from the TV show.
Yeah.
I love those old George Reeves shows, because if you remember, they would shoot him with the gun, and the bullets would bounce off of them, and then the thug would run out of bullets, and he'd throw the gun.
He'd duck.
And then he'd duck. He should just let the gun hit him in the head.
You're like, why did you duck? Yeah. Did you ever see the board pop up? He would leap, he would go run and he would leap and then springboard up. Did you ever see the little board pop up?
That was supposed to be this.
He had a little springboard that he jumped off of and leapt into the air.
Awesome.
Yeah. I never could quite figure out after one or two bullets. I still never, in all the Superman, like they would unload clips into, when you think after the first two bullets, it's like, well, do you think if we just keep shooting, like one's going to get lucky and get through? It was just kind of like,
down.
Yeah, just keep going, and one's got to get through. But I don't know. I guess it's got to look dramatic, so they're all bouncing off or whatever.
Yeah,
and stuff. But they kind of do that. I'm a big fan of Wonder Woman, and they take and give her powers. Like in the comics, a lot of times she can fly with like
Right.
the gift of like one of the gods. In the movie, she can't now, which that's fine.
Well, although have you seen the latest trailer?
Yeah, it looks like she's actually
apparently-
jumping and
lightning?
flying.
She can ride lightning now. What the
Yeah.
heck?
So I'm just like, okay. So I mean, and I guess you just kind of. I mean, every time I read a new run of Wonder Woman, I'm always like, whoa, can she fly this time?
Yeah.
What can she do and not do? Because they've changed it so many times.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's like David and Goliath, right? The problem is what if Goliath is the hero of the story and David's the villain? And that's kind of what you have going on with Superman, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
just kind of like it's not that exciting when Goliath can always win. You know, it should always be the reverse. The bad guy should be way cooler than the good guy.
And it's funny because they just don't stop at Superman. Like they add Captain Marvel, Shazam.
Yeah.
So they have multiple Superman characters.
Yeah.
And stuff. I mean, I kind of like in Superman where he can't be everywhere at once, which, the original Superman movie played on that, where like Lois Lane died. Spoiler if you haven't seen it from the 70s. And,
No.
but then, then he brings her back, but that's so he can't be everywhere at once. I'm like, okay,
Right.
that's kind of interesting. I mean, that's playing on emotions, but again, like you said, but beyond that, what else can you really do? If he's so powerful, you can't really hurt the guy. It's like, okay. Not really exciting.
Well, and that's why, that's kind of why I think that I have a problem with Superman. Even though some of his powers are cool, all of them combined is like he's just I'm bored with him. I want them to take him back to the way he was originally created, because part of the problem is that you don't have any concern that Superman is going to be hurt until somebody shows up. Oh, look, I got some kryptonite. Kryptonite must be everywhere.
Yeah,
there,
that's
right?
what I'm thinking. Like, how common is this stuff anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think Superman had, oh, look, if I'm around, I'm going to get it and put it in a lead box and I'm just going to chunk it into the sun. Every time someone shows up with a piece of kryptonite, I'm going to get this little baseball sized piece of lead, wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to hurl it at the sun so that it burns up.
Well, the one thing
get a kryptonite-proof suit or lead suit. That's the
kryptonite-proof suit. Yeah. So here's the thing. Why hadn't anybody thought about that, Kurtis?
Oh, I think it's a horrible idea that I just gave. That's why, But
kryptonite suit? Come on.
Have you? Oh, kryptonite suit. That would be cool to put on. But has anybody heard of who Max Landis is? The director. He's the son of John Landis, the guy who did American Werewolf.
Right.
I think John Landis. I think did American Werewolf. Right. Anyway, he had a pitch where he was going to write a reinterpretation of the Death and Return of Superman. And it's really cool. If you find it, it's just a pitch of him talking about it online. And essentially what happened is, I guess, after Superman gets killed by Doomsday, I think his powers are diminished a little bit. So he has to go train with Batman. And Batman teaches him how to fight like Batman. So instead of him just kind of like doing these power punches, he's fighting more like Batman, more like a martial artist and stuff like that.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Strange.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting story. It's on YouTube. It's just Max Landis talking. But
that's actually what I know. No one on here. Okay, yes, I know no one likes Man of Steel, so I'm the only one. I'm a big fan of all the Zack Snyder movies, and one of the things I did like in Man of Steel was that the Kryptonites were actually soldiers and expert martial artists, and they were mocking him like he's like, like I think Fiona, one of the was fighting. She's like, you think you can defeat me? She's like, I've been trained from birth to fight. You grew up on a farm. And I love that idea. It's that one extra edge against them that these are soldiers or whatever. And I thought that was, and actually the way they moved in that movie is exactly how I picture them moving. I mean, there was one where Fiona, like she just drops down in front of these soldiers and all shooting her, and she just looks at him, and then like literally is instantaneously just like moving from one soldier to the next, just defeating him. But it's like so fast, almost like Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, that's how I picture these guys fighting. I mean, you wouldn't even move.
Yeah.
So.
See, Michael said,
I will say, crap.
Go ahead, John.
I was actually going to say, I will say the Superman suit for keeping him safe from kryptonite actually exists.
Oh, does it really?
Yes.
I'm just thinking.
Please do tell.
Like, it's made of duct tape. They just duct taped him.
Oh, and then he also had a suit for traveling out of space for a while too.
They've actually given him spacesuits, and they go back and forth. They gave him spacesuits, and then they have one where he doesn't wear spacesuits. So I'm like, make up your mind.
Yeah, yeah. Either needs to.
Yeah, but he had a lead suit that he wore to be around kryptonite.
That makes sense.
Well, how does it affect? I mean, how does it cover up his hands and his face and?
Like the whole nine, and I mean, I guess since he's so strong, he doesn't have to have the joints in it, so he can just bend the metal with his hands.
Yeah.
All right.
See, Michael says, I think continually shooting was a result of not believing in what they were seeing, talking about the people shooting Superman over and over.
I can see that.
In other words, how could he not be shot, right? So just keep shooting him. And Patricky Lugo says All-Star Superman, I think, for the Superman that's depowered, right?
Yeah.
Talking about taking him back, All-Star Superman.
Well, Patricky Lugo, shout out to Patricky Lugo. He actually used to work at Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine that I used to write for.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, he's the senior graphic designer there. And he just has a new martial arts comic book that he just started publishing called Zhang Q. It's based on the story of this Chinese mythical ghostbuster, this god of he fights demons. And it's online. So if you guys are interested, ZHONG and then the letter Q.
So is it his comic book? I mean, is he own it and publish it?
Yeah, I believe so. It's a web comic, I believe, right now. He just started posting it. But yeah.
So Patricky, put a link down there, because we're all about independent comic books here. So if you're still there, still listening, put a link to your. I'm requesting that you put a link to your comic down in the comments there, so that everyone can see. We don't want any links to corporate comics, so no corporate comics. But if it's yours, put it up there.
Please.
Yeah. So all right. So what else? Other best powers.
Best powers.
I got to tell you, you guys have probably heard me talk about this. You know that the Vision was always one of my favorite characters. I think his ability to control his density is one of the coolest powers there is. Because he can become so. He can I don't know, less dense, that you could just hit right through him, swing right through him. He's intangible, or he can become so dense that you break your fist trying to hit him. Comes so heavy that he falls to the earth. To me, and that gives the explanation as to how he flies, because he becomes lighter than air and he can fly. I just think it is such a very cool power that explains so much about what he can do. I think
funny,
that's
no one else has done that before. Like, no one else has taken that concept and done it. I mean, even thinking like Kurtis, like if you had like a martial artist who could do that, like somebody who can't fly but can move when he's super light, and then literally before impact hitting, he could create density in his fist. I mean, you can have some really cool concepts of like martial arts, like fighting and the ability to control density.
Yeah.
Well, there's something they call iron shirt in martial arts, it's like in martial arts, it's like an arms race. And so the first people realized that if you hit really hard and if you know how to apply the impact, you don't have to break the bone. You can send the impact into people's organs to traumatize it, right? To cause trauma, right? And so then what they figured out to do is this thing called the iron shirt, sometimes it's called golden bell, where if you see somebody hunch over when they're fighting, they compress their rib cage so that the ribs start to fold on each other and become like a shield, so the impact can go through. And
really?
then the next level, somebody realized that if you do this gesture, they call it like a leopard, you can send the impact through this corner here, and it'll go between the rib cage, so they can still hit the organs. They can still send a trauma into the organs.
So that's actually pretty interesting, because that knights, big armored knights. Did you know that's one of the biggest things that killed them is the trauma to their internal organs. Because you take a sword, you could beat on a knight forever. Right? You're just kind of beating on his, but you take one of those great big hammers and smack his chest. It rattles the inside and damages the internal organs. Therefore, they die later, right? So, so you don't really cut as many of them off, but you damage their internal organs that way.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool, Kurtis. I didn't know that.
Yeah. One of the I won't go too far tangent because I can talk about martial arts all day, but there was one move called the icy palm, and it was this move where if you get hit in the stomach. A day later, you start to get cold and chilly, and you start to cough up blood, and you feel like you're freezing, and then you die if you don't get medical treatment. And what somebody realizes what it is that you send the attack towards this person's stomach wall in such a way that when you vibrate your hand, the vibration travels through the stomach wall and vibrates the pancreas. And it's that trauma to the pancreas that will cause somebody to hemorrhage internally. And it takes a couple of days and then they die. And that chilly feeling is why they call it the icy palm. So there's a lot of really far out there stuff. The thing is why you
That's cool.
that much. Yeah, the reason you don't see that stuff nowadays is people would train something like that, just that one type of specialized move. They would train decades and decades. And, you know, after the gun, there was really not much of a reason to spend that much time cultivating that kind of ability. But it's still fascinating.
What I want to know is,
a new topic.
I had to tested this, right?
Yeah.
So who wanted to be the first guy? It's like, look, I have this icy palm hit. Who wants to be the first one to test this?
Yeah, let me test it.
Because like, you're not going to know if it's really going to work unless, I mean, because we got through a fight, you know.
No. You're giving way too much credit for societies back then. All they had to do was say, "You come here.
Come here.
Yeah.
I'm testing this on you." Right?
Well, one time I went up to this mountain with my teacher, and there was this master at this mountain in China, and the guy had this crazy ability to like send vibrations into people's bodies, and this other instructor from another area was there, and he did it to the guy. And my teacher, who at the time even then was an older gentleman, he said, "Do it to me, do it to me." And the instructor said, "No, you're older and you're an equal to me. I can't disrespect you that way." So he grabs him by the arm and goes, "Kurtis, have him do it to you. Have him do it to you." So I was like, no dice, man. I ain't gonna do that.
You're young, you can recover.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Kurtis was like, "No."
I know.
No, thank you. I want to have children one day still.
Exactly.
I want to live.
Patrick, he said, he's got a couple comments here. He said, in the 80s, John Byrne claimed Superman's powers were all subconscious telekinesis. I don't remember that.
Never been enough John Byrne.
Dim Mac, probably for one of the moves. Dim Mac.
Yeah, Dim Mac, touch point or pressure point hitting. Right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He said the ancient Warhammer looked more like a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually was spiked at the end because it was made to not only hit but actually puncture armor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he says, Kurtis, have you checked out the new Shang-Chi comics?
I gotta check it out. I didn't know if there was a new one.
So
cool.
I made a note for our for future streams. One of our topics has got to be martial arts and comics.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to mute me half the time.
Yeah, I know.
Are you gonna do a PowerPoint?
Yeah. I'll do a demonstration of everything.
Have you watched any of the Wednesday streams at all?
I watched some of them. Yeah. John
his PowerPoints. Yeah.
He excels at it.
Yeah. If you had, all right. So, any other best superpowers? I'm gonna ask my last question here.
Here's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was thinking. Go ahead.
Here's one I just would like everybody to sign off on, because this one I always feel is polarizing. Teleportation, right? Teleportation is always one that I think is really cool, but then everybody always goes, well, you might teleport into a wall or into the freeway. What's everybody's take on teleportation? I'd be curious.
If you could control it and you wouldn't have strange thoughts that shot you off into space or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, I think Nightcrawler's is probably the most believable because he has to see where he's going.
Yeah, that one's good.
That makes sense.
Yeah, teleportation, and I think it's more like in science fiction. I mean, as a power that you can do yourself. Now, if you could have a device or something, because I've actually read theories about how we could possibly do teleportation. One of the theories has to do with quantum entanglement. And do you guys know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of it, but I don't really know.
It's a theory of subatomic particles. It's a property. They don't really completely understand it.
Like the fly.
Well, it's like there's a particle, say there's particles moving one way and there's another particle moving. And once you affect one particle, it affects the other one. So like if one is spinning clockwise and and they're both spinning like clockwise, and this one you go counterclockwise, the other one will actually mimic the other one. And the thing that's weird is you can do this for light years. I mean, if these particles are light years apart and one changes behavior, the other one will instantaneously change with it. They're connected. And so the idea is if we can actually coat you in these entangled particles and basically like switch you, like turn you around, you go to the other particle. Just you basically go straight to it. So that's an interesting theory.
That is interesting.
So the way that you could possibly do that. So whether you can do that yourself or make a suit, I think it'd be interesting. The funny thing is I see a lot of these powers, but then I like science because science is always like, well, could you really do this? And of course, the theories behind how they could do these are actually sometimes more fascinating to me than the actual power in the comic. Like, how could you actually do this? But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, teleportation would be one of those things like, I actually like it because if you could actually teleport across space and time to like another planet or something, that would be powerful. I mean, it goes like, how far can you teleport? I think that's the question, Kurtis. Like, if you could teleport to your next room, okay, that's kind of lame. If you could teleport to the end of our galaxy, well, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that would be completely different based on the range of your teleportation.
Have you folks seen that one episode of The Simpsons where Homer was able to get a teleportation chamber? It was basically like a portal in a door frame that he could put in one place and then put the other one on the other side. And he could teleport between the two. And what he ended up doing is he put one in front of the sofa and one in front of the toilet. So he would just stand in front of it and pee in the living room into the toilet upstairs. And that was like his whole use for it. It was so fun.
that actually works.
Yeah.
I always thought the weirdest one, and of course it'd be how the power works. In sci-fi, they've done this a lot where you're not actually teleporting; they just clone you. So they would download your conscious to a new clone. It's like, what happens to the old clone? It's like, well, they kill it.
Wow.
And they've written sci-fi stories where like your older clone, if it survives, then are the multiple of you and stuff. So I always thought that was interesting. And the idea, like, maybe teleportation actually works like that instead of I think Ghost in the Shell did that, where she can download her consciousness into multiple bodies, which I guess would count as teleportation in a way.
Yeah.
I would like a force field that at least it could control it, so you wouldn't like get confused and have it turn off. But if you wanted it off, it could be. I think that'd be great. Because I'd like to walk in the bottom of the ocean and see what's down there.
Cool.
And not have to worry about air.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Pressure.
You know what? It's weird that you said that. Yeah, I'd kind of like to walk in the ocean too.
That'd be cool, right?
Hey, Roberta. Speaking of, and I was too busy trying to get crap going at the very beginning. But when you talked about that you were new, but then you mentioned the Malibu thing, I'm like, I wanted to say, yeah, you're new, but you're not really new because you have that Malibu connection.
Right.
So do you remember Jennifer Schellinger?
Yes.
Do you know what she is now?
No, what's she do?
She is a marine biologist.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty cool. She went from designing and coloring to marine biology. Hey, look who's jumping in here.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, C. Michael?
Hey, Michael.
Hey, teleportation was mine, man.
It
It was mine. I was like, yeah, I like teleportation. Because I told him, I said the lamest thing that I thought of honestly was flight. I said, what can you do with flight? Unless you couple flight with strength or something around those lines, all you could do is just move from one place to another. You just
but strangely enough, the amendment to that would be how fast you can move.
Wait, but you still have to have speed. Yeah.
But I mean, even like you were saying again, I mean, if you're traveling interstellar, I mean, if you're actually going, I mean, look at relativity. If you're actually able to travel near the speed of light, you could actually time travel.
But again, you still have to be able to have that speed part to it. You see what I'm saying? You see, because Superman could fly, but he also had that super speed. So you had that coupling there. Other than that,
he also had the super durability in order not to.
Well, okay, but still,
to survive the frigid depths of space.
But still, my point is, what you gonna do? Fly into somebody? I don't think that's gonna work.
So for those of you who are still hanging out with us, C. Michael is the penciler on the Rejects. He's normally on the Wednesday night stream. He's one of the Wednesday regulars, but I saw him chatting today, so I said, "Hey, man, why don't you jump in with us?" So,
Yeah, I think I bothered you so much. There, it's like, well, just shut up and come on.
No. It's good to see you.
Join the cool kids.
See, I think I think we probably have people that only tune in on Wednesday, and I think we have people that only tune in on Sunday, and I think we have people that tune in all the time, no matter what. So, glad you're able to join us, man. I got to tell you, I am so excited about the way Rejects is looking, man.
Oh yeah. That's I'm listening to y'all working right here, so.
Oh, cool.
I'd comment at you.
Very cool. Roberta, Tommy says he loves the color holds.
Thank you.
Yes, that is looking awesome.
It's getting there.
So so my final question is, if you could, you personally, you could pick one superpower. I don't mean a character. So you can't pick Superman because he comes with a whole bunch of multiple powers, right? If you could pick one superpower, what would that power be?
I would have to say some form of osmosis. Be able
osmosis?
be able to absorb information or learn it.
Yeah. Really? Okay,
yes,
that's interesting.
That would be probably it kind of almost like the Matrix. I don't know if I wouldn't want someone to jam a needle into my neck, but but the same sort of concept.
That wasn't a needle, that was a spike.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a spike.
Tommy said, "Oh heck no! See, Michael is a traitor."
Tell him I'm getting him back for the last time he was on here. So,
see, Michael, do you know everybody here? You know Roberta?
I haven't met Roberta.
Officially, hi.
Hi, how are you? But I have been on with other people. Of course, I know John from Monday.
Okay,
and Aaron.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep,
We've done. I think when C. Michael first started, he was on Sunday with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were doing everybody together. I think it was a Thursday, actually.
Was it a Thursday? Actually, I think it was. Yeah, then it moved to a Sunday. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, early
Long time ago. Roland's trying to I can't remember last month.
Or maybe it was a Wednesday. I can't remember.
Think it was a Wednesday.
It might have been a Wednesday we were all together.
It was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday.
Okay.
Because I was thinking class on Tuesdays.
And I had to go to work the next day. So
it was Sunday in the week when everybody got together.
Yeah. And then we just got to be so many of us. Our Zoom screen was little bitty pictures because there was a whole bunch of it. So we're like, you know what? Cool. And it was, and we were getting, people watching the replays. And so we're like, hey, there's enough of us here. Let's do this in 2 streams. So, and plus it helped us with coverage. Tommy says 1 power, wizard. That's not a power, Tommy. Can do everything. 1 power can do everything.
He's trying to pull that off Wednesday. Magic.
Magic, wait a minute. That's a power.
We didn't even go there, but magic is one of these powers I kind of have problems with because it's kind of like it just does whatever you need it to do. Oh no, we're in a this secret terrible situation. I've got a magic spell for that. Yeah, of course you do.
That's because it's not a power; it's a skill.
Right, it's a skill, and I think it works in its own world. But yeah, I always thought it was weird when I was like, when the other Marvel, it's like, well, Captain America's strong, and the Hulk is strong, Wolverine can heal, and then Doctor Strange can. Boy, that guy could do anything. So
yeah,
why didn't they just call him for like every single thing?
But you see how well that worked out. Like that in Infinity War. Oh, there's only one way. Thousands and millions of ways to do it. There's only one way. I'm not it. Whatever it was.
Actually, the only true way to do it was to let everybody to protect Scarlet Witch and let Scarlet Witch disassemble.
Yeah, right.
It's
like, what if all of the millions of other ways that he saw involved him dying, and he just didn't want to tell anybody? Only one scenario where Doctor Strange didn't die.
Yeah, I die in all but one.
Has anybody seen, just on the subject of magic, Alan Moore has this, of course, crazy but amazing talk about magic and stuff in this documentary about where he talks about spells, and he goes, spells are words, and he goes, that's why it's to spell. He says you have to learn how to spell to cast a spell. And he talks about like the nature of magic being words and consciousness and all that, and it's just totally fascinating. But
I keep expecting Grant Morrison to jump into that documentary. Lies.
He is fascinating.
He was all mixed up with he's with all the Aleister Crowley and stuff like that. So
yeah. He really believes he's a wizard.
Oh yeah.
Tommy says, "What you talking about?" Well, let's tell that to Doctor Strange about the wizard thing. Yeah. Okay.
No, does Doctor Strange actually have any magical spells, or is just all the crap on him that gives him his magic? Isn't that?
No,
he's a trained magician. I'm trying to say musician.
Musician.
He's
the one that's so powerful. I know.
I guess we could call him a warlock.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So one power.
What do you name mine?
Healing factor. Healing factor.
Yeah.
Healing factor. Just because it's super useful. So,
yeah, I have to agree with Kurtis.
2 healing factors.
Yep.
Roberta, what about you?
Yeah, outside of the force field, I like healing factor. I would go with that.
Yeah.
Really? So you like the force field, huh?
Slowing down the aging process too.
So I want to hear more about you in this force field thing.
I was just saying it'd be cool to go where people aren't allowed to go. Go out
You
into
just need
space a
Pokemon
little
Go
bit,
for that.
Look around, just to be kind of voyeuristically, up in the highest mountain that no one's been able to climb, or caves that are too deep. It'd be kind of interesting. I'd be an explorer. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. I keep telling my family that I want to go to Mars.
Yeah, like that would be great.
Yeah, and they're like, no. I'm like, yes. Have you seen the pictures and like pictures of Mars? I'm like, yeah, we've got like a couple rovers running around on the planet taking pictures, and they look so cool. I mean, they look cool. You look at them and you're like, man, John Carter was there. I know he was. And they're like, no, I don't want to go to Mars. I'm like, well, you don't have to go with me. Mama does. Kids is right. And then she looks over at me and she goes, I ain't going. And I'm like, what? We could be the first people to die on Mars. She goes, I don't want to die. I'm like, well, you got to die sometime, right? Let's go ahead and go.
That would be the coolest way to die.
Yeah, it would be.
The problem is getting there first.
Listen, I am okay if they poke some needles in me and put me to sleep for 9 months to get there, right? I'm totally okay with that. I need some sleep anyway.
There you go. It's a win-win.
So I think for me, if I had to pick the one power, although you guys are making a pretty strong argument for healing, I think flight. I've always been interested in the power of flight, because
I notice how Michael's quiet now.
Right.
He's listening.
Because I'm thinking, well, how can I convince you teleportation instead?
Yeah. See, So there's this game I talked about last week called City of Heroes, right? And they have teleportation in that game. And it's just not that cool, right? I mean, it's zap, zap, zap. And I'm like, I'd much rather fly.
It's not cool until you can teleport somebody's head off.
Well, there you go.
Nightcrawler did that. Nightcrawler did that in Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's pretty dark.
Yeah, I'm like, John, is this something you want to talk about?
Did you not see the skull? But I think that's what it is. X-Men 2, really watching Nightcrawler use that teleportation to just kind of level up and kick everybody's butt.
Oh, that first scene?
Yeah.
And that was a great, that was fantastic.
So I'm kind of like, y'all all talk about healing factor, but it's like, I don't want to get hurt in the first place. So I want to zoom, boop, boop, boop.
Well, healing factor is a lot more than just when you consider the fact of, okay, I can heal from any injury. But you also look at the fact that the healing factor, like in the Wolverine sense, it also slows the aging down because of the toxins the body release in order for you to age and to basically slowly decay.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I want to spend that much more time here. To be
honest. Be in quarantine as long as you want.
I know.
Hey, 80 years, but you kind of think it might be nice to stay alive long enough to see all the stuff get fixed.
Unless it goes the other way, that's the only thing. So,
if that's the case, you have a healing factor. You can start dropping bodies.
You win. I can't.
Yeah,
you're one of the few people who can walk into a SOCOM headquarters and just start dropping people because they're doing damage to you, and you're just like.
See, I think it depends on how the healing factor actually works, because if you get a bullet shot in you, I mean, if you can literally instantaneously pop the bullet out and heal, well, that's like super fast regenerative properties, right?
Right.
But if you get shot, then it takes you a while to heal, but you can still heal perfectly. I mean, what happens to the heart? Can you still stab the heart and kill somebody? I mean, once you're dead, right? You can't heal from a death.
Right. Well, it seems like, do you guys want more like near immortality? Because you guys talk about healing factor, but I'm like, do you guys plan on like testing them out, like going out and getting beat up and stabbed and shot or whatever to be like?
Listen, I'm talking about flight. I ain't jumping off a roof.
I wonder if I can fly.
See, that's what worries me about flying. It's like, okay, how long is it going to work for me? Because I'm imagine being 50 feet in the air.
Yeah. Well, like, did you ever see The World's Greatest American Hero?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Great TV show.
Yeah.
Funny.
Would you? Is it more like, do you just want to be able to fly anywhere, or more just the sensation of flight?
I think more than just this. I think more than just sensation of flight, being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna run to the mall and just step outside my door and just fly over to the mall, right?
Yeah.
Not have to worry about traffic, not have to worry about stoplights and stupid people on their phones all the time on the road, and the sensation of it as well, going.
I mean, technically, you can get the same sensation running.
No.
And then teleport.
I got to work at running, dude. Have you seen me? No.
Now I have this whole comic strip about Roland versus birds. In the air, all the birds are dive bombing him and stuff. Out of my way.
And that moment you accidentally get in the flight path of a freaking jumbo jet.
That's 30,000 feet up. I ain't talking about flying that high, although that would be kind of cool too.
No capes. No capes.
No capes.
That's
No capes.
Yeah, because they get sucked in. What was that? What show was that?
Incredibles.
Yeah. I got sucked through the
I mean, you just be another geese.
Yep.
Taking down airplanes.
All right.
We knew him well.
Well, this was fun. As a reminder, everybody, it's 10:58, so we're gonna wrap this up. I got proof books here from our wonderful printers, Kablam, who I'm still trying to talk in to be sponsors now. I got to enter that conversations now that things are getting back to normal. They look fantastic. I noticed a few things I wanted to make changes in here. Plus, someone pointed out a word that I misspelled that about 4 sets of eyes didn't catch. Yeah, I know. It was kind of funny. Renee actually found it. Tommy's Renee. She actually found it, and so there's a couple changes I'm gonna make. The other thing is, can y'all believe I forgot to put titles on these stories, and so it's like this one, and they didn't have titles, so I'm adding titles to them. So
you got so excited to get that finished that you
I really did. Yeah, I really did. I'm like, yeah, it looks so good. Let's get it out. But so we're anticipating that probably 10 days, something like that. And then we'll start fulfillment here, which will be exciting. We'll kind of start getting them out. So those of you who backed this Kickstarter, it's close. It's getting closer. Can't wait to put them in your hands. Don't forget, we'll talk more about the Comic Conway as we get closer to November, but we're talking that's about 4 weeks from now. So we're pretty excited about that. Going to have a whole kind of Silverline thing with Comic Conway. This Sunday, our group is going to be talking about, and then for us next week, we're going to be talking about our comic influences. And somebody, Silverline Comics just posted, how are my favorite comic nerds? So that has to be somebody that we know using the Silverline Comics thing.
No nerds on here.
Is that you?
Yeah, we're geeks, not nerds.
Yeah, I know. Can we just get proper terminology?
Okay.
Although somebody was talking quantum physics earlier, but I'm not pointing any fingers. You know?
That was Brett. He stepped in. He goes, "Sorry, I don't know why I meant for it to be me." He just got back from Disney. So we're going to be talking about our comic influences. And when I say comic influences, we all have things that we've been influenced. Like I know I've talked about, my writing influences before, people like Ray Bradbury and H.G. Wells, things like that. No, we're going to talk about comic influences, things in comics that influence us today. So that's what they're going to be talking about Wednesday. We'll talk about that on Sunday as well. And so let's go around and tell everybody where they can find you. See, Michael, thanks for jumping in. Last couple minutes here. It was kind of fun to have you jump in and raise a little cane.
Got to come at you with that flight thing, Have a conversation about that.
Yeah, but imagine how much fun it would be to just throw something over your shoulder and say, "Hey, I'm going to fly up to North Carolina for a show up there."
I don't know. 3 feet off the ground. It's not really going to.
Think of like if you had teleportation.
I'm not getting any higher than that.
I'd be at least just above the tree level.
Oh no!
I think he wants teleportation so he can jump into any conversation. Like I think that he probably fly. He just appears on a puff of smoke. These two nerds at a comic kind of like, what are you? He's like, let me educate you on why you're wrong.
Right, yeah. Let me come and tell you why. No, that's not true. John, tell folks where they can find you on the interwebs.
Apparently everywhere. I'm hiding everywhere. I'm like, where's Waldo?
That's interesting.
Facebook page, John Vampire Martin. Twitter, John Martin Art. Instagram, Patreon. I'm sure I can't remember them all. Probably going to have a card to hold up next week because I know make it a little easier. Yeah. But the links will be posted below.
I was going to say, as a reminder, I'll be posting the links down in the comments or in the not the item description, the description, whatever it's called, the stream description.
Who knows if Roland gives me permission to post some things? Who knows what will pop up?
I'm not sure where we're going with that. So, Kurtis, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, just Kurtis Fujita. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube through my martial arts school. So that's just one word, Tiger Crane 805. That's where you can find me.
All right, Aaron, what about you?
Find me on Instagram at AOH3810. Facebook, Humphres Illustration. I think my name's on there. I have my own account. I pretty much post the same thing on both accounts. And then I'm doing my comic on Webtoons, Godlings on Webtoons. I think that's it so far. As much as I've reached out into the world of the internet, which is scary enough sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost thinking about taking a break until about November the 8th.
There's a lot of
from the internet.
Doing that. Yeah, doing that.
Oh, November the 6th. Because you got to be on the 7th.
Yep.
On the 7th.
Yep, on November 7th. You got to be.
I have my dates right.
Nope, you got it wrong.
Oh yeah. You're right. Sorry, Comic Conway. We got to be on the 7th. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I got you.
Sorry. You did. Thank you. I appreciate that. Roberta, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebers?
Mainly on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Roberta Conroy. And Instagram, Roby Conroy, ROBI. And I also have robyconroy.com.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And have I said lately, Roberta, how happy I am that you've joined us and thrown your hat in the ring? Makes me happy.
Thank you. Makes me happy.
Good.
Thank you.
See, Michael, what about you? I know you weren't on here very long, but where can folks find you?
You can find me at Facebook, C. Michael Lanning, Twitter, C. Michael Lanning, drop the G, add a 2. And of course, I also co-host on Fridays the Comics Newswire. So find me over there sometime.
Sweet. Now that's with so I'm not sure exactly. Does Indie Volt, is that part of the Indie Volt channel?
They are part of Geek
Sisters.
Insider, Comic Book Advocates, and Indie Volt. They're all kind of a trifecta, as it were.
Cool. Very cool. And that's something you've been doing for now, what, about 2 months?
About a month so far. Yeah. Those
folks over at Geek Insider are absolutely what I would call friends of Silverline.
Yeah, absolutely. They give me a chance to say something every week, so that's
great.
That's good. So
yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and I know I've been with Varian and over on Indie Volt and Zimmerman, Randy Zimmerman, who was pretty cool. Kurtis, you may kind of remember this. Zimmerman did. Do you remember the Arrow with or the Arrowverse? Not Caliber did. Arrow Comics. I think it was Arrow Comics. Yeah. So it was funny because the first time I was on, he was there, and when they introduced him, I was like, "What? Holy crap! I know who you are, but I don't know. I'd never met him before." So it was it was very cool. Yeah. And so I'm Roland, and you can find me on Facebook at Roland Mann. You can find me on Twitter at Man Roland, and of course all the other internet places. Generally, just look for this, and you can find me. That's the character I have a tendency to use all over the interwebs. And until next time, remember to make mine Silverline. All right, I love that, John. All right, good night, everyone.